Okay. We're doing the top 7. We have the logo? Where's the logo? Yeah, the top 7. Yeah, 7. And this week we are talking about, because Epcot Forever came out, and we're being nostalgic for Epcot, the Epcot that was. So we want to talk about what are the top 7 attractions that have ever existed in the history of Epcot. So joining me, everyone that's up here, Michelle, Jessica, Nick, Cameron, and at home, Jason and Rob are with us once again, and as well, Don and Kelly and Yoda and everybody. Everybody's all here for this. They've been taking a lot of photos. The Fern, looking forward to hearing what the Fern. I'm sure the Fern picked Living with the Land. But
the Fern wanted the food at the Flower and Garden Festival.
Yeah, sorry, it's a stereotype that the Fern would pick Living with the Land. I apologize. Let's start late. So the way this segment works is we have 7 panelists.
7.
Yeah, 7. And each panelist got to pick one attraction from all of Epcot's history. And we didn't let anyone duplicate, so it was first come, first serve. People got to pick, so whoever sent it first got to pick Figment is basically what happened. You know it's coming. You'll find out who was punctual in picking very shortly. But yeah, and so we'll have 7 different attractions at the end of this, and then it will be the job of the entire panel to rank them in order. So Michelle, why don't you lead us off? Start with the ladies.
Since I was late to the party.
I didn't say you were the last to submit. You just told everybody that. No, Michelle's very punctual. Yep, that's correct. Michelle was very punctual. Michelle had all her drinks stuff ready that we pushed to next week now. It's fine.
It'll keep.
Colleen just packing up snacks while we're doing the show. It's fine. Can't hear that, Colleen.
Yeah, but I did bring a back scratcher, like as a prop.
I'm sure she'll still make you one.
She'll probably just scratch your back if you want. Wow. That's nicely.
Michelle, you scratch nice. Go ahead, Michelle, please.
So?
Michelle, you scratch nice.
That's what I said. Anyway, Michelle, go ahead.
I went with classic Norway. I went with Maelstrom.
Whoa, good one.
You seem unsure of the pronunciation.
I can't even say it.
Maelstrom.
Maelstrom.
Went with the Maelstrom.
Because I like the tricky trolls.
Yes.
And the fact that it went backwards. Well, it was cool.
First backwards
It was
launch.
scary. The little trolls and back, over, it falls. I like that.
Yeah, okay.
And I like the video that went with the ride too, like the old man in the sea. Yeah.
Oh, we used to
Most
try
people
to
walk
escape
through
the
it,
film.
but
Film was fantastic.
I liked the
No.
film. It was like the majesty of Norway. We seek thunder.
Kid touching the boat, loved it.
Yeah. And the inside, the design, like the way that they had it as like a fishing village in Norway. That was really cool.
I don't know. We always tried to avoid the film, so. It would
Well,
be,
once you see it once, you
like if the doors were open and our boat was pulling in, we all just start running out of the boat. Like we gotta make it.
that was what most people did.
Yeah, I like the ride. It's almost fun.
It's good.
Okay, so Maelstrom, right? Maelstrom. Yeah. All right, Jessica, go ahead.
Okay, so I was gonna go with what the Fern picked, but turns out the Fern and someone else had picked it. So I went with my second favorite, which is the Grand Fiesta Tour in
I
the
thought you were
Mexico.
picking the old one. What
Well, I
happened?
like them both. No. Like, I like them both, but they're both like they both work together.
So specifically Grand Fiesta?
I
Or El Rio del
I
Tiempo?
have more memories of the Grand Fiesta because
Current.
The new
yes.
ones?
So
Although
we're
I
going
like
with
them
Grand
both.
Fiesta Tour.
Can't
the
I just
original
pick
one.
it as like a whole,
No,
like as an
they're
entity,
different things.
as a concept?
I like the music better in the first one.
Well,
Yeah, I agree.
well, I really like the current one too. Like, I don't think sometimes like people still bemoan Maelstrom.
Wow. She let you sit
Hey,
near
I
her.
scratched your back.
No, that they miss it. That's what I meant. That they miss
Stab
Maelstrom
yours.
because they don't think that like Frozen did it justice. Well, I think the Grand Fiesta Tour is really cute homage to Mexican culture. They didn't like actually bastardize it like they do with a lot of countries.
Wow.
No, it's
Speaking the truth.
Whoa.
it's a really good like it covers a lot of different parts of Mexico. You do travel different sections. If you've never been to Mexico, you would just
Still
think
don't
it's
know which
all
one
just
you
Mexico.
She said it.
I said it.
Grand Fiesta? Are we going? Okay,
But
let's
that's
make
not
sure.
classic. I'm confused.
It
doesn't have to
Doesn't
be.
have to be.
Oh.
As a Disney fan, everyone's like, well, greatest, it has to be classic. Right? It can't be anything current.
Yeah, basically.
No, current was allowed. No one else went with anything current, I'll tell you that much. But, yeah.
Yeah, and then the little shorts, the animated shorts with Donald are really cute. And of course, where else can you have the three caballeros? They have their own ride. It's great.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, the way they melded the characters with the like different aspects of like Mexican culture, like
The duck.
if you look at it, if you've ever been to Mexico, if you know about Mexican culture, when you're going through it, I love like always finding different things. Like they have a little boat that's themed after a certain part of Mexico where it's all just like a river. It's called Xochimilco, and then it's a boat themed to Donald, and it's just great. Like little touches like that, it's really cute. And then Donald's like chasing after dancers, and it's very scandalous. Yes, and it never has a it never has a line. So
Grand Fiesta tour is scandalous. I like that.
Yeah.
and it's a very easy ride. I like it. You always
fun.
and
It's
it's
a good
still
ride,
it's still a really
Grand
good boat.
Fiesta tour, you could join the 2 Foot Club.
I don't get it.
Never mind.
I want to know what the
Yeah, I don't
7
get it.
most scandalous rides are.
Oh, maybe we'll have to do that another
Yeah.
week, like the most scandalous attractions of all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be fun. Thank you, Joseph.
That's great.
Rob, we got Rob there.
Hey,
Oh my God.
Still thinking about that.
Oh,
500.
Yoda
Yoda
looks
has some
creepy.
thoughts on classic Epcot.
He's like, let me talk.
before
What's moving behind Yoda?
just don't worry about it.
There's like an
There's
animal behind Yoda.
There
Hey,
is.
is there?
Is that a cat?
It's a critter.
No, it's a dog.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's Team Dog.
I want to see the pup.
Yep, I hope.
Michelle just wants to see the
suck it.
Rob, go
Okay.
ahead, please. Everyone's
Can I just
distracted.
say I started the greatest Slack discussion of all time last night?
You did.
We
I
have
want
a
to see the puppy.
I got the staff to post all their pictures of their dogs and cats.
I know. I want to see it.
It
Go
was
back.
great.
I didn't post mine.
I know.
We're trying to work in there.
Well.
I just,
Oh,
Missed it.
Rob, what are you picking?
Well, before I tell you, can I hear all of Michelle's stereotypical Norway impressions again?
You weren't stereotypical. That's what it sounded like in my head. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay,
I
cool,
swear,
cool,
Michelle.
cool, cool.
When
yeah,
Hey,
Michelle.
I'm Norwegian, so I'm allowed to do it.
Michelle's
so-
practically Norse. Yeah, like
So,
Back over default.
I guess thank you. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. It was perfect. I guess I won the lottery because I picked Figment, the original Journey into Imagination.
Yes, Rob, you were the first one to actually do your job today. That was correct. So, you got the
Yay! I would say that, first of all, Tom knows this, but I actually worked that attraction, that original Figment attraction. So it was, to me, it was.
that makes so much sense.
Would you ask?
Okay.
The Rainbow Tunnel.
He worked at the ride. You didn't work ImageWorks, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, he worked.
For that attraction, you had to work ImageWorks and you had to work Magic Eye Theater and you worked Figment. So it just depended. If it was a day where you were working Magic Eye, you did that in conjunction with the ImageWorks, and then if you were working the Figment ride, you just did that. So
why you picked the Figment ride, other than working? It?
Yeah,
Rob, do
because
you like my
you know
shirt?
what? Yes, you look beautiful tonight, Michelle. So
Michelle, you look nice tonight.
It's a
anyway,
Figment.
back to me.
We should just call this
The,
Michelle Compliments Tonight. Rename the show.
Sounds good to me.
Wow.
So,
Rob,
because it was the perfect attraction. We talked about this a little bit on one of the ride recaps. Is like what makes a perfect attraction, and it had music that was amazing. It had the animatronics that were like nothing I had ever seen before. The first time I rode it when I was little. So the fact that I got to come back and work the attraction was fantastic, amazing, a dream come true for you and the different attraction. But they had this one position at night where the last person would have to ride through the attraction. This is back when they cared about maintenance and details and things. And the cast member would ride through the attraction one last time to make sure that everything was working and then report anything that wasn't. And I always volunteered for that because the idea of being able to ride that attraction by myself one last time at the end of the night was just awesome. When you did the Back to the Future, though, on Journey into Imagination, I didn't realize how special an attraction that was. And now that it's gone, and I don't have that to share with my kids, and it's just it's heartbreaking to me that it's gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, that's my favorite.
Rob is too pure. 500 foot high club. Rob is so pure. Anyway, Jason and the Fern.
So I had two attractions in mind, and I think I picked Spaceship Earth. Is that right,
which
Tom?
you picked 1986.
I picked the 86 Cronkite version.
Yeah, Cronkite.
I know that most people here like the Irons version, but I grew up with the Cronkite version. And so that was my favorite. Plus, there's some changes in the ride, but the biggest change to me, which made me pick the Cronkite version, is the Tomorrow's Child ending, which is one of my favorite Epcot songs of all time. Even though they only played it for 1.3 seconds in Epcot Forever, I was very excited about that until I realized that. Yeah, right. So. That was that's one of the reasons why I don't like Epcot Forever, but I did definitely like the Cronkite version of Spaceship Earth. I think Spaceship Earth, being in the geodesic sphere, is kind of the pinnacle attraction of Epcot. It's the one that everybody experiences, and it's kind of tells the story of Epcot in itself. So I think that's really, to me, that's the quintessential Epcot attraction.
Our shared story.
No, you guys are bumming me out.
I'm not sharing it with you.
Me and the Fern. Cameron.
Switch me over here. I went with what the Fern chose and said Living with the Land. It's one of the rides that the wait is just always low, except on those very, very rare days when it's like 25 minutes, but it's always at like 5 to 10 minutes.
It gets long.
I
say like 45.
That's what I'm saying, like on a very rare day.
No, like midday every day. But like morning and evening, you're right. Morning and evening, you just walk up.
Yeah, maybe it's the same way that with the park.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't go midday anyway.
Yeah. It still holds Epcot's edutainment theme. Is, I guess moving forward, it's gonna be one of the last rides that holds that theme. Yeah. It's ever changing. There's always new plans, new projects they're working on. It's not just like fake plans and fake things to look at. Most of it's not. They're always, it's like a living, breathing environment with real like scientists and real people who know things about plants and like all just working together and growing and learning, and that's
really
something like one of the very cool thing about it.
Were you old enough to go on Listen to the Land?
No.
Okay.
I wasn't old enough. Another reason I chose this.
Before he was born.
Really?
Another reason I chose this was because I'm not old enough to have gone on most of the good things in it. Garden Grill, it ties into Garden Grill. It enhances the Garden Grill experience for those people who are eating there. You look into the ride while you're eating at Garden Grill. It's just overall a relaxing, air-conditioned ride with a relatively low line, with the exception of the middle of the day. And the ride vehicles are pretty iconic too, with the overhang.
The Willy Wonka-esque boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the quality. See, that was gonna be my pick, so I was kind of gonna like piggyback on that for a bit.
It's your birthday. You can break the rules. It's fine.
Yes, that's right. Continue to tell them why it's the best. so that I win this.
No, like
This isn't a competition.
if you're into plants, like I love plants. So like some of the stuff. I love plants.
I love lamp.
I look over and you're a moth.
Please continue.
There's a lot of plants in there that require a very specific environment in order to grow. Like they have actually like a thriving cacao tree that not even in Miami you can grow cacao. So the conditions that they've managed to like set up in there, like very precise enough to make very rare and tropical or like subtropical plants blossom and like thrive, which is I think is really neat.
Well, that's what was special about the Epcot of the 80s was bringing in real-world experts and trying to really teach the world legitimately about all these different topics. And then doing it in this way that blew people's mind. Like, not only were these rides incredibly educational, they were fascinating.
And that's what I'm saying, like,
it's beautiful, and this was, I think so many people were intrigued just learning these weird things they didn't know about. The average person went in there and was blown away with these
The hydroponics.
tomatoes on trees. And
it's not like a show. Real, actual scientists are really actually working on these things. It's not just like all right, manager, go and put a new plant in there. Like real, actual scientists are making decisions to change out.
Well, I'm just saying there was something really special. They tried to do something really special with every pavilion. I think the land pavilion, because it was about plants, they were like, well, we'll grow plants and the living seas. Like we'll save sea life, and we'll raise sea life here, and we'll learn more about them.
Serve fish.
Sea life too, yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's part of life.
Yeah.
Humans eat fish. I mean, you don't shy away from that. I mean, the same.
I mean, people pick out their lobsters in tanks and eat them.
Yeah,
I mean, you pick out your steak at steakhouses.
It was a very realistic look at our world and the future of it. And I think that's what was special about it. And now instead it'll be more IPs and things you go to. I thought about this the other night. We went to Magic Kingdom. We saw Filler Magic, and I thought, like, this feels special. Like when I go to Fantasyland, I want to see these classic Disney stories I love. I want to see Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And you get chills for those great moments. And then when I go to Epcot, I see them trying to push those moments there, and they lose all of that specialness and meaning because they are in a place they don't belong.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem, is they need to have an understanding of where those moments are it's good for those moments to be. And Epcot is maybe not the place where those moments belong.
Agreed.
But anyway, who hasn't gone? Nick, are you all that's left? Is that right?
Well, and
oh,
you?
then me, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
World of Motion is my choice.
That was a good one.
That's what Michelle wanted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I told you took it already. Nick actually picked first and picked World of Motion.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make sure it was on this list.
Well, it's an underdog. A lot of people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
It gets lost in the shuffle.
As much as I love Spaceship Earth, like right now, it became my favorite attraction at Epcot, but all time would have to be World of Motion. And really it's because I think it has some of the best, like, actual audio animatronic show scenes of any attraction.
Well, you know why?
Why?
Staged by Mark Davis.
Well, okay, yeah.
I mean, the king of staging a scene with animatronics.
Yeah.
Those moments like live in my brain.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Right. It's very, like, to me it is kind of reminiscent to like a Pirates or something like that. The way it tells the story, and the way the show scenes are set up, with both like humor and you get that little bit of education about the history, and then the music. The music's the big part. I mean, and that honestly was my favorite song ever. Always, it's fun to be free. I would always be whistling that on the way home and singing that in the car. And I absolutely adore that. And some of the greatest like characters even out of there, like the sea monster and the giant, and things like that.
Also, the entrance to the ride,
Right.
just that the
with the
little
ride vehicle going up
twirly
that
thing.
glass.
That was
I
so
know.
Yeah.
cool.
Like so dynamic.
Never saw anything
there.
like that before.
Right. Yeah. It's very World's Fair-ish.
Yeah.
Like that,
Oh,
that
absolutely,
pavilion
yeah.
really was. I mean, a lot of them were, I guess, at the time.
No, but with the
Right.
the car going
Right.
outside for a second.
Yeah, so reminiscent. And so that whole, honestly, that whole area, the Horizons, Universe of Energy, World of Motion side was always my favorite. I mean, as much as I love Figment, I mean, I didn't hold the same, I guess, it just didn't touch me the way it did a lot of people. I recognized that as special. I enjoyed it, but it was actually the other side of the of Epcot that held my attention every time. The World of Motion because of the mixture of everything, the animatronics, the show scenes, the story, the music, everything.
I'm surprised nobody said Horizons.
Well, let's see.
Not this.
We have one left.
Cameron and I are just nodding.
Spoiler
We have
alert.
one left.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I didn't pick Horizon.
Oh.
So, I obviously I let everyone else pick first, as I usually do. And that's obviously I would have picked.
And then I told them why they're wrong.
Right.
No, I would have picked I would have picked Imagination. I think everybody knows at this point. But then if I thought, well, what's the second most important attraction at Epcot to me? It's Spaceship Earth. And for Jason, he grew up with the '86 version. I grew up with the '94 version, which is Jeremy Irons narrating and that music, that haunting music that has stuck with me my entire life. I think it's such emotional, wonderful music. And you felt the right things at the right time in that version. And I think even though I know a lot of people don't like 90s Epcot, they started to lose the vision of what the park was, and I don't agree with that. I think in a lot of cases they updated. I mean, Figment sure wasn't great, but the other stuff they updated, I think a lot of it made things relevant and it felt current again, but still kept its theme. So like the '94 Spaceship Earth, I think that ending was as uplifting in '94 as the '86 version was that year. I think you felt inspired and that anything was possible with where communication technology was going, and we have this new tool called the internet, and people are going to be video chatting and all these things, and like you couldn't be at the birth of your child, but your wife could be streamed to you. Yeah, and it says your new baby sister, like things like that, or you're going to miss your child's graduation. You could be a part of all these important moments in life, even if you were all these miles away. Think about that in 1994. Think about 1994. None of that was commonplace in 1994. And think about now. Think about how right AT&T and Disney were with that version of Spaceship Earth. Like it predicted, like the classroom with the interactive screen, and like all of that came to fruition, was real, and that's what Epcot was about. I think it was a realistic look at where we were and where we're going, and I think Spaceship Earth, that descent, was so inspiring. That fiber optic canopy as you went down the end, and the music, and just everything about it was, I think, pretty magical. And I hate the 2008 version, and I don't know that I like what they're doing with it, but I don't know if maybe it's going to be worse than the one now. But.
Well, I think part of the problem, and this is the problem with Tomorrowland future, looking at the future, whenever we look at the future, I think that the 90s might have been the last real time when we could look ahead a few years and figure it out. Like now it's just, it moves too fast, you're too outdated. That one stayed relevant for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
And I really don't know if you could do that again.
I don't know that even, I don't like the touchscreen ending, but the videos do some things that are very futuristic, like screen-based newspapers and weird stuff like that, and like rocket surfboards and things. So it's cartoony, but it's definitely like thinking outside the box what's going to be. Mm-hmm. And if you could have done that in a physical form that wasn't a jib jab video, it would have been. It's also it would have been great.
Would have been better.
It's also a little too Jetsons vision of the future.
Very.
It's cartoony. Yeah.
It's the exact same
I don't believe that you can't still
as the Jetsons.
Predict the future. I think a lot of movies still give us an interesting view of what can be. I think it's lazy to say that you can't keep up with the future. I think it's easy to fall back on and be like, all right, so now we're just going to do the history of storytelling. But that was like Tomorrowland. Like,
Right.
yeah, like they didn't want to update Tomorrowland anymore. So what did they do? They came up with some really creative, crazy things like Timekeeper and Alien Town. And instead with Epcot, they're just like, Epcot's about the world we live in now. And, okay. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's not the most awe-inspiring future, but yeah. All right, so we have the 7. We're going to try to quickly, we're over time already, so we're going to try to quickly rank the 7 attractions we've listed here. World of Motion, the original Journey to Imagination, Living with the Land, Spaceship Earth 86, Spaceship Earth 94, Grand Fiesta Tour, and Maelstrom. Last place, what do we think is the
Living with the Land.
7?
Grand Fiesta.
Did someone say
Tour.
Living with the Land?
Yeah, Rob said it.
I said Living with the Land.
Oh, did anyone else think Living with the Land?
No.
My choices
I like
are
to
always
listen
the
to
bottom
them.
7. It's fine.
I was going to say Grand Fiesta.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to put Grand Fiesta Tour at the bottom, that's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine.
Put Living with the Land at number 6.
It's fine. So
We
what do
got
you
The
think?
two of us will be at the
Grand
bottom.
Grand
That's 4,
Fiesta?
yeah.
So Grand Fiesta is 7.
The two
Yes.
boat rides.
7.
Siete.
Okay, so number 6 then.
Living with the Land.
No.
Like, I love
Chill.
Maelstrom, but are we going to fight for Maelstrom? It was 2 minutes long. There was oil rigs. I mean, come
I'm
on.
not fighting for
It was
this.
ridiculous. I love it, but
Cute, but yeah.
like
Okay.
we're going to say Living with the Land was not as
Don't you dare.
grand as Maelstrom. I mean, come on.
No.
No one's arguing.
No one's
Not
fighting
since
you.
they took out the live cast members on the boat.
Yeah, they
What?
put in photo boxes
Nah.
at the front of the boat.
They put in speaker boxes.
So can we put Maelstrom at 6?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we get
That's
to
fine.
All right, number 5, I would go with Living with the Land.
Living with the Land.
No.
Spaceship
Yep.
Earth 86.
Yep.
No.
No, Living with the Land.
Nope.
How many Living with the Land? You got 1, 2. Who else said Living with the Land?
Me.
3.
Rob.
The guy at home.
Rob, what do you think?
No, well,
Don't.
Show the
I
puppy.
started. Oh, sorry.
Please raise the phone.
Oh! Stop
Derpy.
it! Put him down. I can't do the rest of
Seen
the
his dog is
show.
derpy?
Oh my goodness.
So mean.
It's a cute thing.
So cute.
So I started. My first attraction was Listen to the Land, and when I started, they said it's a 13-minute spiel. Enjoy. And I still remember a lot of it, but I really have an affection for that attraction, and I am disappointed in what Living with the Land is compared to Listen with the Land. So I would definitely put it in here.
All right. There you go. Show the puppy again.
Yeah,
Yep.
poor puppy.
Oh, that's the toy. That's not even real. Oh my goodness.
What is she or he?
Yoda wants
it's
to
a
get in on
she.
that.
Look at Yoda.
Pet the dog.
She's so sweet.
It's all right. So what are we putting? It's
Living
5
with the
Living
living.
with the
I
Land.
can't.
Living with the Land. Just put it down.
Cameron,
Come
you're
on.
Just
You're just gonna let this happen?
I don't know who wants to leave more, my dad or Jason. They're both grumpy.
No, I just want to make sure that is at the bottom of the list.
He's been trying to kill it since we started.
All right, so
He's trying to
number
protect his version of Spaceship Earth. I hear it, I
number
know
4,
it.
I'm with 86 Spaceship
86
Earth.
Let it
Spaceship
die.
Earth. Yes.
Who else? Jessica, I need one
Or
more.
Oh.
wait, what?
86.
86.
Space-
Oh,
86
Cameron. All right, there we go.
Cam.
SSE
Yeah.
86.
Cameron never wrote it. He doesn't get a vote.
Yeah, well,
94.
Jason's so
I haven't
bad.
wrote half of these.
He's so
You
bad.
can't put Walter
How does
Cronkite
that feel,
low on the
Jason?
list.
All right, number 3.
What?
offended
For
by
the record, I would have
whatever
sided with Jason.
I'm fine with World of Motion here, I think.
That's 1 for World of Motion.
I'm voting for World.
What's
Wait, would
I
you
never
put World of
voted.
Motion at number 4, Nick? I'll switch with you.
No, I'm good.
No, it's already set. I got 2 World of Motions
Fine.
and 3. I would do that
No,
too.
I do.
I'm World.
I think that's what you got to do, and I think Spaceship Earth 94 is 2 and Imagination is 1.
Yep.
Are we all in agreement on
Sorry to
that?
Yeah.
spoil it.
I'm with that.
That's easy.
I think that's
All
how
right,
it's
so
got to go.
that's the this is the easiest one we've ever done. Everyone's like, yeah, we know.
No, I mean I kind of want Spaceship 94. It's good.
Yeah, no, but 6 out of 7.
But Jeremy
So the
Not
Irons,
too long.
final
Jeremy
ranking.
Irons is an excellent narrator.
Final ranking 7 is Grand Fiesta Tour, 6 Maelstrom, 5 Living with the Land, 4, Spaceship Earth 86. Number 3, The World of Motion. 2, Spaceship Earth 1994. And number 1, obviously. There you go. And all right, we have to end the show now, so come bring the birthday cake out.
Yeah.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Ronald Reagan singing.
Happy birthday, dear Jessica. Happy birthday to you.
Why are you touching her cake, Michelle?
It's the wax is dripping on the cake.
All right, there you go. That's it, Nick. Nick, let's put this thing to bed, shall we? And then we'll have cake. All right, that's it, everybody. Remember, kids. I don't even know where it is. I lost it. There it is. Remember, kids, the wonder of possibility awaits.